Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to Total's Tell Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is Hanukkah Sorcery in Iran. I adapted it from our translation of an article in Sikat HaShavua based on the book Imre Shefer by Rabbi Shmuel Pinchasi, whose father, Rabbi Moshe Pinchasi, was one of the two men in the story. My best guess, based on research, is that this episode took place sometime in the second quarter of the 20th century. The two Jewish men made their way slowly, their boots sinking in the mud that covered their path and the wind whipping their faces. They had no choice but to pull their coats tighter and plod their way through the puddles. They still had a long way to go without any sign of a settlement where they would be able to find shelter. It was the eve of Hanukkah in Iran. The two men had hoped to reach their homes before the beginning of the holiday, but the sudden storm ruined their plans. Unexpectedly, they saw lights in the distance. Hope flared up. They realized that this was the place where there should be a number of residences. The hope gave them strength to walk faster till they reached the village. They knocked on the door of one of the houses, shaking from cold. The door opened a crack. The Muslim householder looked at them suspiciously. "Please," they begged of him, "could we stay in your house till the end of the storm? We will pay you well." To their joy, the man agreed. He showed them to a small, dark, and cold room. Having a roof over their heads, shelter from the storm, was enough for them to feel great relief. They were now able to focus on another disturbing problem. It was the first night of Hanukkah. How were they going to do the mitzvah of lighting the first candle? They considered asking their hope for candles, but they were afraid to do so. At that time, there existed a superstition among the Gentiles that the Jews practiced witchcraft. The landlord had already lit a kerosene lamp in their room. Asking candles might cause him to suspect them of sorcery and throw them out of his house. Why are we depressed? One of the men turned to his companion. "Let's daven, let's pray to God, that we will merit to fulfill the mitzvah. No doubt He will make us a Hanukkah miracle, and we will be able to form the mitzvah with joy." At the time that he said this, there was no realistic possibility of this happening. Still, his friend was inspired by his words, and both of them davened the evening prayer joyfully. They had hardly finished their prayer when someone knocked on the room's door. The wife of their host was standing there. "Please help me," she said. "My sister-in-law lives next door. She is jealous of me, and she harasses me. I without let-up. I heard that you Jews are experts at spells and incantations. Please curse her for me and save me from her evil intentions." The men were shocked by her strange request. What did they have to do with spells and incantations? But then they realized hers was a perfect solution for their problem. They went into a corner of a room and whispered together, while the woman waited with inconcealed patience to hear their answer. Finally, one of them spoke, his expression serious. "You must realize that this is not a simple request." On hearing this, her face fell. "Don't worry," he continued quickly. "We will try to solve the problem, but we will need several things." Her eyes lit up. "I will bring you whatever you want," she exclaimed. "In that case," he said decisively, "we will need candles, eggs, and a vessel with glowing coals." The woman hurried to get to them what they asked for. The men were ecstatic. Their joy knew no bounds. They were experiencing a miracle. They hurried to light the Chanukah candles, thanking the Almighty for making it possible for them to fulfill this great mitzvah. After they cooked the eggs on the coals and ate them with the bread from their bags, and when they said the full blessings after meals and came to the special section about the remembrance of the miracle of Hanukkah, Alanissim, they said it with extra devotion, conscious of the miracle that they had just experienced. The candles were still flickering and casting dancing shadows on the wall of the room when there was again knocking on the door. Again the woman stood there, looked this time upset and frightened. "Please," she screamed, "extinguish the candles. My sister-in-law is in agony. She has unbearable stomach pains, and it looks like she might die. I'm afraid it will become known that I had a hand in this, and her family will take revenge on me." The men stared at her, stunned. Then, realizing a second opportunity, they shook their heads. "We're sorry, madam," one of them said. "It's too late." The process cannot be stopped. We cannot douse the candles. The woman burst out crying, stamped her feet on the ground in total panic. I beg of you, I will give you anything you ask for. Just take away the curse you put on my sister-in-law. Again, the men retreated to a corner of the room to discuss how to deal with the seemingly disastrous situation. After several moments, they turned toward the woman, and one of them addressed her. It is extremely complicated, but we will do our utmost to relieve the suffering of your sister-in-law and effect her recovery. Bring us another package of candles and more eggs and some potatoes, and let's hope that we will be successful. The woman immediately brought them all they asked for. Now they had candles for all the 8 days of Hanukkah, and if they needed to stay that long, and food too. Again, they thanked the one above for their personal miracle of the oil, truly something out of nothing. A short time afterwards, the woman returned, and she thanked them for removing the curse from her sister-in-law. Her stomach aches had ceased, and she felt much better. As a result, the woman was convinced that she was hosting miracle workers. She treated them with great respect till the storm ended, and they continued on their way. Well, this is a story about miracles in Iran that took place for Jews 100 years ago, around 100 years ago. But now recently we've been having miracles for the benefit of Israel and Iran, and hopefully, hopefully, we'll soon have more until the enemy finally realizes it's not worth it for them to keep pursuing their bombing tactics, and they'll and like Hamas and Hezbollah, they'll be weakening their demands, and we can have a peaceful, delightful, bright, enlightening Hanukkah Sameach, a happy Hanukkah to everyone. And that one of the first things will happen is that they will return all the living hostages. All that goes without saying.